Having understood the first stage, that is to determine uh, or divide the life of the five-star hotel that we are trying to value in terms of explicit forecast period and in terms of terminal period, and that we have decided that the if the forecast period, explicit forecast period, is going to be of 5 years, and we have also understood that during the explicit forecast period the growth rate is going to be 10%, and during the terminal period the growth is going to be normalized and it is going to be 5%. After that, we come to the third stage of the valuation using the discounted cash flow method. So, in case of the third method, what do we do? For the third method, what we do, we estimate projected cash flow during the explicit forecast period and during the terminal period, right? So obviously ये जो method है, this is discounted cash flow method, and for the discounted cash flow method, what do we need to have for the purpose of valuation? We need to have the projected cash flow, and we need to have the projected cash flow for the explicit forecast period and also for the terminal period or continuing period as we have referred. Now remember, the free cash flow that we are talking about, the free cash flow can be of two types. Number one, free cash flow can be FCFF. And what is the meaning of FCFF? Meaning of FCFF is free cash flow for the firm. And then the cash flow can also be free cash flow for equity. And what is the difference between these two? Answer, of course, is very simple. FCFF, free cash flow for firm का मतलब क्या है? That means this is the cash flow which is beneficial for all the stakeholders of the company. So the cash flow that the business is generating is going to benefit all the stakeholders, not only the shareholders, but also the lenders. So that is your the free cash flow for the firm. And free cash flow for equity, इसका क्या मतलब है? Free cash flow for equity का मतलब है cash flow which is available only for the benefit of equity shareholders, and that is your cash flow for equity. Yeah, friends, I would like to tell you one thing that you must remember and in your mind. In the discounted cash flow method, what is the basis, prime basis? The prime basis is the cash flow, is the cash that the business is generating. And I'm sure instinctively all of you can understand किसी बिजनेस की वैल्यू कहाँ से आती है? किसी बिजनेस की वैल्यू आती है कि वो कितना कैश जनरेट करता है, isn't it? So only if a business is generating cash, it will have a value. If a business is not generating cash, remember, it will not have a value, rather it will have a negative value. So ultimately the value comes from the cash that you generate. And I'm sure अगर मैं छोटा सा एग्जांपल दूं कि जो बिजनेस जितना ज़्यादा कैश जनरेट करेगा उस बिजनेस की उतनी ज़्यादा वैल्यू होगी, और जो बिजनेस जितना कम कैश जनरेट करेगा उस बिजनेस की उतनी कम वैल्यू होगी. और अगर कोई बिजनेस कैश जनरेट नहीं कर रहा है, उल्टे कैश को खा रहा है, इट इज ईटिंग कैश, that means this business will not have a value, will not have a positive value. This business will have a negative value, and that is what you have to remember. So valuation of a business, remember, can be done from the perspective of all the stakeholders, or the valuation of a business can also be done from the perspective of only the equity shareholders. तो अगर आपको पूरे बिजनेस का वैल्यूएशन करना है तो you find out something which is known as EV, enterprise value. Enterprise value. And for finding out EV, what you need a free cash flow for the firm. And if you have to find out value only for the benefit or from the perspective of the equity shareholders, you will find out the equity value, not the enterprise value. You will find out the equity value. And for equity value, you will need the free cash flow for equity. And that is what is your stage number 3. Now, before we go to stage number 4, let me throw it open to every one of you. If you have any question, any doubt, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question, raise your doubt, and I would be very happy to answer them.